Welcome back to Dean Smiles. It's been an exciting week and just sorting through all of the content, and there were so many neat things that happened, and picking them out is exciting, a good challenging because it was a very good week for me. I'm Dean, retired STEM teacher, and now I'm taking the fish philosophy that I used along with Mr. Brown's 360 days, his 360 days of Mr. Brown's precepts. There you go. Get it right. And putting them together and trying to give you a little flavor of some smiles, and hopefully it just makes you feel good inside and you can share it as well. The question that has come up since ever since I started this channel is, what is the fish philosophy? Because when I talk to people about the fish philosophy, I just think everybody knows what it is. I've had to explain it to a lot of people, so I'm going to explain it here real quick before I move into the highlights of this week. I have this book, the Fish Philosophy book. It was published in 2000. For me personally, I was let's see here. I was a sixth grade teacher. I was going to say second. I was a sixth grade teacher in Minnesota, and I started my master's program, and the video showed about the fish philosophy as a choice, as a way, four simple philosophies that you could use in your classroom. The creator, the person looking back on it, John Christensen, one of the founders, he was doing a video documentary on the Pikes Peak Fish Market, and these are the cool people that toss fish. I was so moved by it because when you go back, I had the opportunity to go there for a conference and watch them, and I believe they're fishmongers, are they, that are working it in the morning. It is hard work, and they had to find a way to keep morale and have some fun. And they brought in tossing the fish and the four philosophies. The first time I saw the video, it was the fall of '98. Then I changed schools, and what would it have been? 4 years later, we had a student in our class, and Christy became ill, and her family moved to Minnesota from Seattle. While she was getting treatment for her illness, the word got back to them that she was doing mental imagery to help her get through the painful recovery process, and thinking about when her and her dad would go to the fish market and watch them throw fish. Word got back to them, so they sent a crew to the children's wing of the hospital, and brought stuffed animals, not real fish, stuffed animals, stuffed fish animals, and brought the morale and just brought the fun to Christy and the other patients there. Fast forward, that spring, because again, I had Christy in my class. In that spring, I was like, our daughter was playing in March Madness. Angie was out in Seattle, and we went to the Pike Street Fish Market, and I introduced myself. I'm Dean. I have Christy in my class, and I just wanted to let you know when you came and visited how much it meant to her and the class. And it was busy, it was bustling. They stopped everything. All six of them come over, they introduced themselves to me. They were like, "You tell Christy to kick that cancer in the butt. They totally stopped selling everything to wish me, and I was just telling my story with her. So I brought it back, shared it with Christy, shared it with the family. I later had Jackie and Ben, her younger siblings in my class, great family. So it wasn't just something they said they were doing. They were living it and they believed in it. And that was cool to me. So that is just a very, very momentous impact on me that I had with the fish philosophy. What is it? It all starts with choose your attitude. Now, the book and their program, Chart House Learning, is really focused on bringing this into the business place, but I looked at using it in the classroom. So the first thing is choose your attitude. We have a choice every day on how we're going to choose our attitude. And I wish I could say every day is good. Oh, I'm going to nail it. There's days I whether I'm talking to Darla, and I shared this with my students, I'm going to let you know when I'm having a tough time choosing my attitude. There are things happening that it's just tough to wrap my hand around, but I'm going to give it my best shot. There's also days when it's really easy to choose my attitude. And riding that wave, but you have to choose your attitude. And that is so powerful. And that's something I've shared with my family, and we talk about it a lot. Next is make their day. This was one of the cool projects I brought to sixth grade when I went to my new school and we initiated the fish philosophy. It was, we talk about make their day. And then between now and we were on an A day, B day, so it was 2 days until we met. Between now and the next time we meet, I want you to have at least one experience that you made someone's day. It can be as simple as holding the door for someone, giving someone a smile. It can be more than that. And sixth graders they're coming out of their self bubble when they come to middle school. It's a cool age. And their stuff they brought back was okay, you know. And I said, okay, we're gonna extend this. And we ran it through a couple sessions. And the next thing you know, it was so cool. Kids were coming back. Oh, I saw my neighbor was struggling shoveling snow. So I just went over and helped him out. Very cool. Another student, I remember there was a gal that she had to carry all her books with her all the time. And she came around the corner, ran into someone else, books everywhere. They helped her. They said, yeah, we made her day. We helped her pick up her books. There was another student that was having a tough time with their locker, helped out. And I just thought that was so cool of different ways that they were stepping out of their bubble and seeing the impact that they had. And that's one of the things that I try to do also is when I see things, and it's not always easy because I'm an introvert, but when I see something, reach out, make someone's day. It can be as simple as a smile. But my hope is that after spending some time with me, you have a little more energy than when we started. That's always my hope. Be there. And this is one that I think really it hit home when I brought it to my class, and it really is hitting home now. Make eye contact. Listen. Everybody has a story. Everybody has some angle they're coming through. Be there. Yes, be there is definitely highlighted when someone's going through rough times. You want to be there. But just being there and listening, not on your phone, not thinking about what you're going to say. Being there and doing it with empathy, maybe sympathy, but with compassion. good eye contact, good conversation, letting the person finish. It is so valuable and so priceless when it's used, because we've all been there where you're talking to someone and they're not listening. And that's tough. Oh, goodness, that's tough. So be there. And finally, play. Have some fun. I remember talking to Whit, a teacher down the hallway, and she came and said, there's a student that can't figure out, does Dahl like me or does he not? What's the deal? And she goes, is he giving you a hard time? Well, yeah, yes, he is. He likes to have fun. If he likes you, he's giving you a hard time. That put a lot of pressure on me, because it was like I didn't want it to be isolated to only certain students, but I like to have fun. It goes hand in hand with make their day. I want to have some fun, and if we can't laugh at ourselves a little bit and have some fun with it, it's hard. It's good, humble medicine, in my opinion. So choose your attitude. You have to pick this when you get up in the morning every day. Be there. Be there for someone. Make their day. Help them out if needed. And play. Have some fun with it. The play is usually the easiest for middle school kids, but I can see as adults they have a little bit harder time doing that. So now, taking those 4 philosophies and what happened this week, I had the great opportunity of going on a lake cruise with family, with some family friends, and it was so much fun. We went out there, the sun was shining, the wind was blowing, and I'm going to get to that. And we sat, and it was actually a little warm. We sat we were kind of out in the open. We were waiting to get going. All the interior seats were taken, and I was like, okay, this is fine. But we were right in the front of the boat. And we pulled out, and as we were leaving, oh, wait, let me back up. When we were getting on the boat, Captain Matt was so welcoming, and he was like, thank you so much for coming today. And he made good eye contact, and he was, you could tell he appreciated it. And that was very cool. And then on name tag, Uncle Craig. And it was literally Matt's Uncle Craig. And I was talking to him, and he was a retired aerospace engineer, excuse me. And he said, I failed at retirement when I first left aerospace. So then Matt called me and said, I need some help. So he said, I just have a blast with this. And he was walking around, making sure everybody was okay. And he was listening, and he was being there. Okay, so you got this just to kick it off. How can it go bad? It's awesome. So we're pulling out, and this little girl and his mom and dad came up, and they took turns sitting next to her. And as we were heading out and accelerating, the waves were splashing, and sometimes they would splash up a little bit, and she was just mesmerized. And she'd look over her shoulder and make sure mom and dad are there. She didn't care if it was cold. She didn't care if it was hot. She didn't care if she was getting wet. She was just mesmerized and taking it all in, and just had the cutest smirk on her face. And then as she looks back, she, just again, is dad there? Is mom there? It just made it complete. There were people on her other side, and those people their adults were rotating. It was too hot. It was too cold. And I had to remind myself that perspective, as Trent Sheldon says, I love this and I'm going to be using it a lot. Perspective is like a prescription, your eye prescription. Darla and I were having a blast with our friends that were visiting. We were just taking it in. Yes, it was a little cold, and then yes, it got a little hot depending upon which direction. But if I had gone in, I would have missed out on that cool experience watching that little girl with her family. And just because my perspective on it looked like that, I can hand my glasses to someone else and it's not going to look the same. It's not the same prescription. So all you can do is control your perspective and your prescription on how you see things and hope and hold your hand out to encourage others. It was so neat on that trip. Last thing, about a week ago, I've only been to this Starbucks twice. I have a problem. I have a caramel frappuccino problem, which I love. And I went to this Starbucks for the first time, and there was Nia working, and she looked very intense, very stern. I didn't see a smile. I was just like, oh, you know, just that's the way it felt. Okay, got my drink, left. That stuck in my head. She was there again. She was at the counter. And this time it was a big, warm, how are you doing? Big smile. Who knows what was going on a week ago? Look at how she was today. And never judge a book by its cover on what you see. Who knows what her day was like that other time? What was going through her life experiences? On the other hand, boy, was she fun to work with today. So, there is what the fish philosophy is, what it is to me, some experiences we've had. I hope that you take and I encourage you to tap into those 4 fish philosophies. Choose your attitude, make their day, be there and play. And try your best and absorb some of the good things that are going on. If you made it to this point, thank you so much for this ride. Thank you so much for letting me share this story and this journey with you. And we'll be back next week. Bye.